Hey guys, welcome to the NRL and AFL Sunday Best Bets video for round 7 in the NRL and round 6 in the AFL. Hopefully we can end the weekend on a high of 2 bets that I'm going to go through, one in the NRL and one in the AFL. I'm going to break down why I'm making each one of those bets. So far this round, and it's kind of been the trend over the past few weeks, is the Thursday, Friday night games go our way, and then the Saturday games go completely off script, which is what happened again today. We backed the two underdogs in the early games in Port, who dominated that game early, pretty much first quarter and a touch, and then through the second quarter and beyond, Collingwood really ran over the top of them. GWS controlled majority of the game, but got overrun by Carlton late, and then obviously, we stayed out of the Brisbane Lions Geelong game, but in hindsight, probably should have been a bet, as the bet finders had Geelong winning that game and they were an underdog, but decided to stay out. Interestingly, Brisbane's lack of efficiency really came back to bite them. I don't know why I don't have the AFL stats up while I'm talking about this, but you can see here, this is the Brisbane Lions versus Geelong game. Brisbane's efficiency going forward ranked 15th in goals per inside 50 and 11th in disposals per goal. You look through the stats for the game, Brisbane just overused the ball way too much, and Geelong being one of the most efficient sides. It's one of the key stats that I pay the most attention to when looking at betting on games in the AFL. And then the last game, West Coast absolutely rolled right over the top of Fremantle. Halfway through the third quarter, starting to look like they potentially could win that game by 100 points. But Fremantle came back late, so they should. Very disappointing performance by Fremantle. So then looking at the games for Sunday, just the two games, Sydney versus Gold Coast. And this is the game that I am going to be betting into. I'm going to take the Swans minus 16.5. Gold Coast have only played the one game on the road this season, which was against the Bulldogs, and they got blown out in that game. Their better performances have come at home, but when you look through the teams they've played at home, haven't really been the best of opposition, and facing a Swan side coming off the bye at home, a Swan side that has comfortably beaten Gold Coast in 3 of their past 4 meetings. Gold Coast did win at home round 1 last season against Sydney, but other than that, Swans have a really good record against them. Looking at how the numbers stack up here, Sydney are the better attacking side and defensive side, and I think overall, looking at this matchup, Sydney should just be too good. So I like the line in this game, minus 16.5. That's $1.90 at TAB, a couple other places as well. And that's going to be the play in the first game. Sydney should be too good, especially coming off the bye. And then the later game, North Melbourne versus Hawthorn, spoke about earlier in the week, I was considering taking the under in this game. I'm just going to stay away from it. North Melbourne's defense conceding 122 points a game is obviously a real concern. However, whether Hawthorn can take advantage of that with a couple of key players out in their forward line, namely Mitch Lewis and Luke Bruce, then I don't know if they can fully capitalize on that as they could. So that was what was leaning me towards the under. I'm just going to stay out of this game. Think Hawthorn win probably by the 139 margin, but it's like the two teams who performed the worst this season going up against each other. And this is the benefit of like being a bettor and not having to be a bookmaker, is you can decide when you want to bet and when you don't want to bet. And it's also the reason why that when you bet with a betting bankroll, you can have days like Saturday where we go 0-5 and all the results just go against what we're looking for. But it's not the end of the world, because you're level staking, you're betting from a 100-unit bankroll, you're only risking 1 unit on each play. So then, if you get a few losses in a row, and you have to expect that you're going to lose 40, 45 bets of every 100. Sometimes they come in patches. Sometimes, you win one, you lose one. It's kind of just the way that it goes. And so by doing that, then it's not the end of the world. But it's very important to pick and choose which games you bet into. Obviously, I made the mistake on Saturday by not taking the Cats at the plus. The line did come down the way I kind of expected to, but just didn't capitalize on it. And then over in the NRL, the 2 games on Sunday, the Bulldogs take on the Knights. I'm going to stay out of this game. I feel like this is a real 50-50 game, and a couple of calls either way could determine which way this goes, and also which team turns up on the day. Both sides are very, very even in attack and also defense. And so for those reasons, I'm just going to stay out of that one. But in the Sharks Cowboys game, definitely betting. I'm going to take the Sharks -2.5. That's at Sportsbet. Sharks -2.5 at $1.90. Could also take, about $1.70 for the Sharks to win outright, but I think they'll be able to cover the line here. They have a really good record against the Cowboys. You can see here they've won 10 of the past 11 and covered 7 of the past 8. Last season they played twice up in North Queensland. Cronulla won 32-12, and at Shark Park, Cronulla won 44 points to 6. So they've really dominated this matchup over recent times. And that one win that the Cowboys did have in their past 11 meetings was only by 2 points in the final series in 2022. So I think the Sharks should be good enough to win this game. Cowboys traveling to Sydney in back-to-back weeks. Sharks had the bye 2 weeks ago. Home game against the Rabbitohs, or it's a game in Sydney last week. So they set up perfectly for this matchup. And Cowboys defense is their concern. Ranked 15th in the league in points conceded. Not really shining in any category. Opponent run meters, they're ranked 1 in, and missed tackles ranked 4th in. But key metrics of actually conceding points, like they're potentially able to keep teams out of their 20-meter zone for the most part. However, when teams get down there, they're able to capitalize, which has kind of been a little bit of the issue for Cronulla, is capitalizing in that zone. So I think that's going to match up well against the Cowboys here. And even if you have a little bit of a closer look at the Cowboys' last 3 weeks, they got blown out by the Broncos, then beat the Titans, which isn't really anything all that special. And then last week lost to Parramatta, who are a bit out of form at the moment as well, and got demolished by the Dolphins this week. So even though Cowboys are still ranked number 1 in the league in points for and tries per game, meters per point, a lot of the key metrics, line breaks as well for attacking categories, they haven't really been able to keep pushing forward over the past few weeks, and a little bit of that is beating up on easy opposition. Sharks are a solid enough defensive side to be able to stem the attack of the Cowboys, and the Sharks defense has been improving week on week as well. They're a team who kind of leak points late when games are over, so their numbers are also a little bit inflated, but definitely backing Sharks -2.5 at $1.90 in the other play. Sydney Swans at -16.5 at $1.90 in the AFL. Those are the 2 plays we're going with. Hopefully we can go 2 from 2. If you're following along, good luck. Obviously, the key here is practicing that bankroll management, not going all in on any one play, and diversifying across the different sports. That's how we make an income betting on sports every single year. So make sure, if you like videos like this, you like looking at the statistics and going through the numbers when analyzing games, and not just kind of making random bets. Just because you do that analysis doesn't mean it plays out exactly like you're hoping that it's going to. But it's giving yourself the best opportunity to win and pick the right plays, as opposed to, just randomly guessing.